Hello Chronoholics, I am Dr. Karan Madan and today Team Chronoholic India is at the launch of Ducati watches in India under the Titan company umbrella. This is one of the latest launches that Titan is bringing to India, and Ducati now is stepping into the world of watches. You must get a glimpse of these Ducati watches. They've been designed exceptionally well. Pure motorsport DNA, pure MotoGP in its blood and its veins. We've had one-on-one conversations with Mr. Duncan Hall, the chief designer for Ducati watches, Mr. Alessandro, the director of revenue and licensing for Ducati, as well as Ms. Ranjani Krishnaswamy, the CMO of Titan Analog Watches, and Mr. Kuruvilla Marcos, the CEO of Titan. Today our guest is Ms. Ranjani Krishnaswamy, the chief marketing officer for Titan Analog Watches. Tell us about how you've been working at Titan and what all you're doing right now.
So it's a very exciting stage for us, Karan, because the analog watches are seeing a huge resurgence.
That's right.
We're seeing it at the top end of the pyramid where more engineering and watchmaking is getting consumers interested.
Absolutely.
So we're pushing the boundaries on the in-house calibers we're making. We're pushing the boundaries on the artistry that can be made on the watch, whether it is material, whether it's finishes. We're putting a lot of imagination to the inspirations that we can get, whether it is Stellar, which is inspired by space. You're going to see something very exciting come from our stable towards April of next year, which is Divers watches we're working on.
Lovely.
We have a Grandmaster inspired watch which is going to be coming out in January. So there's a whole lot of ideation which is happening, which is manifesting itself in how we're pushing the envelope both on artistry as well as on watchmaking skills.
Sure. I know for a fact that the Chronoholic community absolutely loves the Stellar collections that you launched.
Thank you so much.
We're looking at Ducati watches coming into India for the first time. In fact, they are making watches as an entity for the first time under the Ducati license. So why Ducati?
So it is actually, like I say, it's a bit of a holy trinity.
Sure.
We have premiumization, which India is seeing. A lot of consumers are willing to own a piece of culture, own a piece of heritage at a price that they find befitting. There is sport as an aesthetic, which is doing very, very well for us, as well as in the market. And there is the international brands business, where consumers are well-traveled, so that they come back and they have a far more knowledge about the various watch brands. That's the momentum we're seeing on international brands that we've been bringing into India through our license portfolio business as well as from retailing through Helios. So Ducati for us is very special because it is motorsport and it is something which is brewing in India.
Absolutely.
It's also a symbol of luxury.
Right.
It's also such an iconic watch when you see how the bike has been, how the bike has inspired how the watch looks. And we've been speaking to this team for the past year, and they've been telling us that Ducati is a culture.
Yeah.
It is the coming together of precision, performance, and passion of being a biker. And there's two sets of people: purists who own a Ducati bike and who would want to own this piece on their wrist, and then the people who want to own a part of the culture but haven't yet gotten there to own a Ducati bike. And this is almost like a way for them to get into this world, to enjoy the culture of what Ducati brings to the table, to sort of get the adrenaline rush of the sport and wear it on their wrist. So Ducati coming to India and Titan as a company bringing, I think we're very gung-ho about it.
No, as it should be. I mean, great brands coming together, that only leads to bigger and greater things happening, doesn't it? So, very exciting times. How difficult or easy was it to get Ducati to make watches and then to bring them to India?
I think nothing is easy and nothing is very difficult. We had two teams who had the same passion. India is a growing market, so most partners of ours housed outside of India are looking at India with a lot of promise.
Certainly, yeah.
It has got the erstwhile middle class, which is today affluent, ready to spend, is very discerning and looking for the right kind of things that they can spend on.
Right.
So since our passions were in the right place and we really wanted it to happen, it happened quite seamlessly. We, of course, went through the process of many designs and saying what is being true to what Ducati stands for, what signature case shapes like the Ducati shield or the grilled exhaust on the dial, or the kind of the crown at the 12 edge, or the kind of straps we work out with each piece on the watch. We're bringing the consumer closer to the community. So that took a fair amount of conversations, but I think we're very happy with where we've landed.
That's fantastic, and you can't see it, but I'm literally having goosebumps because motorsport and watches both are my passions, and to see them come together in such a way, my God. So
you should see what I'm wearing. This is, of course, the Ducati shield, and there is the crown at the 12 inch. If you can look closely, there's a honeycomb grille, which so actually mimics what's on the bike. And then there is, of course, the chronograph, which is sort of built into the idea of how
the cluster would look like the
on the bike. And that gets translated onto the dial.
I'm sure you're also pulling out all the stops in terms of materials, because motorsport, cutting-edge material techniques, technologies that are used, and therefore that should also translate to watchmaking, doesn't it?
Progressively, yes. Progressively, we're trying to see how do you up the game with watch families that are inspired by bike families, with material that goes into the making of the bike. How does it come in? You should see that come in the future editions.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. So how are you positioning the brand in India right now?
So it's definitely going to be sitting as part of our mid-premium price segment. So very sweetly priced. A large center of gravity is sitting between 20 to 25,000, but you also have more expensive watches. That's from price positioning. From a brand positioning perspective, Ducati has always been the hero with a bit of a heart of a rebel.
Definitely.
So that's how the brand is going to come across in its presentations in our stores, in terms of the communication. The red of Ducati, which is both desire as well as drive, is going to be the dominant canvas on which the watch will sit. So certainly the rush, the adrenaline are going to be critical elements of how people will experience the product as it comes to stores.
And then the strong symbolism also kind of portrays that, delivers that messaging very clearly, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. So I think now that you mentioned the price range, very competitive price range, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the name should speak for itself and do well in India. Are there also going to be any mechanical or automatic watches?
Not in this lot, but yes, progressively we're working towards that direction.
Wonderful. That's literally music to my ears. Any message that you would like to give to fellow chronoholics and watch collectors across the country?
I think Karan started off by saying that the community is really cheering for us. Keep cheering for us. We're trying to get the best of the world to you. Ducati is one such move in that step. We're trying to get the best out of what our in-house movements are going to deliver through Titan. So there is a lot happening in our stable, but for now I would say please go check out Ducati at our stores. It's a fabulous looking watch, and if you're part of the Ducati community or want to be part of that culture, this is a very sweet way for us to welcome you into the club. Thank you so much.
Now my guest at the launch of Ducati watches in India by Titan is Alessandro. He's worked for 25 years as Director of Strategy, Licensing and Revenue at Ducati, right?
Yeah, almost right, yes. I've been working Ducati since 2000, so I celebrate this year the 25 years in Ducati.
Fantastic.
And consider that Ducati turns 100 next year in 26.
That's right, yes.
So I can say to have worked 1/4 of the company, and even if the Ducati modern era started in the middle of the 80s.
That's right.
So I would say that the most important part of my career is also the most important of Ducati.
And also the most relevant part, wouldn't you say?
Part,
because MotoGP has taken off in the last 25 years, especially.
Yes, you're right. I mean, I think that Ducati, as I say, is the modern era started in the middle of 80,
right.
With few models that were really, they blow off the mind of people. Think about the 916 that was released in 1994, and it still is a bike that you could ride today and looks a modern bike.
It does, yeah.
And but actually, the first half of my career was in the racing department.
Okay.
And I ended up being the MotoGP project director as well as sport director.
Right.
So I really had the chance to feel the adrenaline, not just of the brand, but of the real race. And that is the chance to work with the rider of the caliber of Valentino Rossi, of Casey Stoner, Troy Bayliss, Lori Capirossi. They never forget Nicky Hayden,
of course,
and now we have the new one. So Pecco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez, and so on. And in the second half of my career, it was taking care of the brand Ducati.
Right.
Because Ducati is not just a motorcycle company, but let's say that we have a brand that goes beyond our motorcycle.
Sure.
It's a
lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle,
right?
But it's even more. It's a culture. We don't sell a product. I don't want to even say a product, but let's say we don't sell a motorcycle that you buy from go to A to B.
Right.
We sell more an emotion.
Absolutely.
We would like to enrich people's life through incredible experience.
That's right.
And we try to do, sticking to our value that are style, sophistication, and performance.
Sure.
So, and we try to stick to this value not only when we have a brief of a new motorcycle, but whenever we develop a new product, whatever is a cap, is a watch, is a fine shirt, or a shoes or whatever. I work very closely with the creative director of Ducati, with the design center.
Sure.
And together we have now
a wide range of products that you're bringing to the market.
Yes, a range of products that are not motorcycle, but we really work well together.
Sure.
Because
the synergy, of course, has to be there. Yeah,
there is a synergy because the company is a big company, but it's still a small company. And instead of, in my business unit, instead of rely of a not, let's say normal, but let's say I don't have a marketing or a communication or a design guys, because I could rely on the design director of Ducati, I could rely on the communication director of Ducati, and so this is making me in a very wonderful position, because then I could develop whatever product knowing that it will stick and it will enhance the value and what Ducati stands for and what we would like to represent.
Sure.
Not in the motorcycle environment, but in general.
So that also has to come from an in-house culture to begin with, a set rules of engagement so that you can actually go out there and create products, and also a bit of fun to be had, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I should say that I'm lucky because I grew up in what is called the Motor Valley.
Ah, right.
The Motor Valley is a very limited part of, let's say, call it Emilia-Romagna, that is a region of Italy, that in a 50k radius from Bologna, where Ducati born, we find Ducati, we found Lamborghini, we find Ferrari, we find Pagani, we find Dallara. I mean, we are speaking about the
biggest names in the world,
pinnacle of motorsport, and we are speaking about the most important automotive brand in the world, and Ducati belongs in this world. And so let's say there is the curator of our museum that say that in our veins there is no blood but gasoline.
Well, pretty apt, I must say. Now, before we go on to the other things, you said 2026 is the 100th year anniversary of Ducati. I assume there are fireworks planned. Are there big things?
There is big plans.
Yeah?
I cannot tell you anything, otherwise I should kill you. But you know, we are very, very enthusiastic about this because 100 years.
It doesn't happen again and again, right?
Yes, and so of course, it is always like Ferrari was saying. You know, we always look into the next chapter because even if when we score a victory at the track. We celebrate because you have to celebrate when you deliver. But then, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 2 minutes after, you're already thinking about the next challenge. This is the only way that you can continue to grow and to develop the most advanced and let's say, passionate product for our client.
I have a question there before we go on to the other thing. Are you a watch collector yourself?
I was to be.
Because
I was to be before having the family.
So you're talking like a watch collector. For watch collectors, it's like, oh, okay, I've got a great watch, but then what do I buy next? So I totally get that. And before you kill me, let's actually start talking about the Ducati watches now. How does the licensing work? I mean, is it difficult to get cross-licensing for products and then also bring them to India?
It depends to the partner. I think that, we are an expert. We think, we dream, we live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, motorcycle.
Of course,
okay?
Sure, yeah.
So we should rely to the ones that are top in class in their world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we believe that we find the right partner to be in India, in the Titan group. That is,
great partner. You got a great partner right there.
Great partner. Yeah. It belongs to the Tata company. That doesn't need me to tell who they are. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's the right step at the right moment, especially because India is one of the fast-growing markets in premium motorcycles.
That's right.
So where we belong.
That's right. Absolutely.
We are an upper premium company, almost luxury, I would say. But if somewhere you have to start, and sometimes you cannot start from the pinnacle. Sure. You have to try to enlarge the base of your fan. That, by the way, in India is growing. Fan of MotoGP or Formula One are just increasing day by day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so you have to, we always say in Ducati that we would like people in. We don't want to be exclusive.
Sure.
We would like to be inclusive.
Absolutely.
So we would like people in. So despite you wear fine watches, you wear a T-shirt, you come to one of our events, you should be in our world.
That's right.
And given the difference that there is between any human being,
absolutely,
the important is being passionate about. I had to say Ducati, that is easy, but in general of beauty, because Ducati, we would like to represent also the beauty.
Certainly. And you would go out there and say that Ducati watches that you've made are really beautiful right now?
I believe yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I believe that we end up with a very wide and wide collection. Of course, we start from, let's say, a medium, because we believe that this is a way to attract. I remember when we start 25 years ago to develop the Ducati brand outside the motorcycle world. You start from a white shirt and you start to apply a Ducati,
absolutely, a logo or a shield.
But nowadays we don't want to mix the market.
Right.
This is what we really don't want, because we would like to to deliver products that really express something that goes beyond. Of course, there is the Ducati.
Sure.
It is a watch.
Yeah.
We as Ducati we are not a watchmaker.
Right.
But we are happy to rely on the experience of so valuable partner, so important partner.
Absolutely.
So I think that we did the moment that we don't have the crystal ball as in the racing.
Right.
You try to put always your best effort for everything, but then just one win.
Yeah.
But if you're even second, it's important that you did the right step.
Certainly.
And you train, you work hard. Yeah. But victory is just for one. But this is not important.
That has to come with long-term vision as well. I mean, a 100-year brand should not be taken lightly at all in this world.
No.
They've done the hard work. They've positioned themselves very well, and now to expand into other products, that's very nice.
And consider that we established our subsidiary in India 10 years ago. So we celebrate this year the 10 years of our Ducati India subsidiary.
Look at that! I did not know that. Okay.
So nowadays India is a word of mouth to everybody,
Sure.
But already 10 years ago, we oversee that there was a kind of path that was starting, and so we decided, okay, if this market is growing, we should be there in a very important way, in a very relevant way, And so my colleagues at Ducati India, they have done a very incredible job. We have 9 shops spread around India. They organize events, they organize riding experience. I mean, we would like really to...
And you built the community in India already.
Exactly. We have, I think that we have already 6 Ducati Owners Club.
Wow.
There are, I think there is 200 spread around the world, 250, something like that. Right. And in India, we have already 6 Ducati clubs. That is like the watch club.
Watch clubs like we do,
because, I'm sure that when you hang out with your colleague, with the collector, for a dinner, as soon as you arrive, you put on the table your watches.
That's what we do.
The same is our fans. When they arrive at the event, whatever, they are proud to show the accessories that they put on the bike, how they customize their bike, the new bike, the latest Ducati product. I mean, this is the way, because life in a way is tough, and having a passion. Something that brings you a passion like this is really incredible.
Absolutely agree.
And you have to water this passion.
Oh, certainly.
And as a Ducati, we always try to water this, because they deserve. And this is our purpose.
Yeah, that's very heartening to hear that the brand actually backs their buyers and consumers. That also translates to your partnership with Titan, because we believe in Titan as watch collectors, watch buyers in the country, and I think good times ahead. And is there a message that you would like to give to not just the Ducati consumers, but also the watch collectors in the country?
If you look to beauty is even I think elevate human being. In a nowadays, I think that education, beautiness should be always in a way teach.
That's right.
I would say. And passion. I mean, I think that if you have passion in what you do, at the end you will take any kind of because the life is like this. It's not a silky path. But if you have passion, I think that you can overtake any difficulty that might raise or whatever.
All right, that's very heartening, very insightful, in fact. And so, friends, Alessandro, this was wonderful to talk to you. Now I'm back again with Mr. Duncan Hall. He is the chief designer for Ducati watches. Hey, Duncan, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. All good. You?
Very well, thank you. First time in India?
First time in India.
Let's just dive right into it. How does it feel to be the chief designer for Ducati watches?
It's an iconic international brand, both for motorcycles and for non-related. So it's a privilege. You design things, you grow up thinking about what you'll be working on. Ducati it's one of the biggest brands, and it's nice to get under the skin of such a brand.
Wonderful. But the watch division, honestly, is very recent for Ducati in their 99-year history. What made them, or what do you think was the shift in the mindset to bring watches as a product? I think
watches are popular anyway, but it's one of those additions that you need to complete your lifestyle scenario anyway.
While the design inspiration is pretty evident, I mean, you can't miss Ducati, from all of it. But what is the exact line of thought that you have when you're designing watches for Ducati?
I think it's understanding the words that mean something to the brand. So this pursuit of excellence, this design, technology, innovation, the association with the legendary Ducati red that means speed and performance. So it's thinking about those words and designing into those words when designing the watches. And by doing that, you're finding inspiration from bold shapes, aesthetics that overall have this masculinity to them. But there's still this elegance there, because these Ducati bikes, they're beautiful machines. Watches need to be beautiful timepieces. So yes, they're masculine, they're innovative, but there's an element of elegance to them as well. So as long as you're connecting those words, you can't really go wrong.
Oh, that's fantastic to know. And from what I can see, I've seen a few of the watches in front of me. Everything is very motor racing inspired, isn't it?
There's a lot there. You've got dial textures inspired from the asphalt texture of a racetrack.
Wow.
You've got hex honeycomb.
From the grills, right?
Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, exactly, inspired from there. You've got the double V light configuration, front light cluster of a bike we've incorporated onto the
That's right.
the sub-dials.
That's right.
You've got the brake disc inspired bezels.
Yeah.
You've got tricolour dial combinations going on, which are a bit of a nod to the limited edition bikes that that they do.
Sure.
And then ultimately, we've even got case shapes inspired from the shield, the logo itself, which gives us this element of uniqueness through that as well.
The shield is pretty unmistakable, isn't it?
It's unmistakable.
Yeah?
It's unmistakable.
And also, I can see that you're using very high grade rubber straps for most of the watches too.
Yeah, the silicon, it's like this. We refer to it as this high definition silicon because it allows us to create these crisp lines for flowing details, precise branding, but it gives durability, it gives this lightweight touch and a perfect balance from this sporty feel and touch to actually just good wearability for day life.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, and of course, if you're tailoring watches towards motorsport enthusiasts, motorcycle riders, the comfort and the ease of use has to be pretty much there, right?
It's essential. It's this skin to watch ratio that has to work because some of our watches are quite big, so they have to be engineered and manufactured in a manner that fits a small wrist or a large wrist. They have to be quite diverse.
That's right.
And whilst I think a die-hard Ducati enthusiast will look at these watches and see an endless array of detail that connects to the bikes, I think a non-Ducati enthusiast, someone who still knows the brand, because like I said, it is one of the most iconic brands, they're going to see a lot of detail to appreciate, and they'll see a lot of things relevant to the watch world. So to me, it's a perfect balance of creating these unique timepieces under the Ducati DNA umbrella. But actually, from a general consumer perspective, there's an awful lot to appreciate as well.
When you think watches and when you think motorsport, very high precision, cutting edge technology fields that require the best of ideation and product design to come together, right?
Yeah.
Is there also technology transfer that happens between the two verticals?
I think there's a lot of aesthetic transfers, there's a lot of cosmetic transfers from a functional perspective. Most of our range is chronograph, which is orientated around speed and capturing time measurements. And I think that's where our connection is. The aesthetic connections are clearer. But I think with the price point that we're talking about, the biggest connection is the fact that we've got a lot of chronographs in a lot of unique ways, in a lot of beautiful silhouettes and shapes and detailing. And I think that's what connects us to this world of speed and this world of performance.
Okay, so that also means that the current launches are mostly quartz powered watches, right? Are there also plans to have mechanical and automatic watches in the future?
Look, the future is as we determine. So the answer would be yes, everything's on the table. For the moment, it was important to start with a smaller, more solid "This Is Us." And that sets us a nice foundation for having choices moving forward. We have 100 years next year as a celebration. That was probably coming. But we've got 3 watches in the pipeline for that, which are going through the design phase, the prototype phase, and there's a lot of discussions going on in the background across the various platforms to get those over the line. So that, as it stands right now, there's potentially 3 next year, but we'll see. And that will cover off a world of the mechanical side of things as well. Because the way I see it is this: there's certain watches we've got in the range which already expose the inner movement of the dial. Like you said, it's quartz. So for us, that's the engine of the dial. The mechanical side of things, when we expose that, it's going to feel more machine-like, and it's going to have a nice connection again to that industrialized side of things when it comes to the running of a bike.
Look, as a watch collector, I'm always my preference always is mechanical and automatic because that's the purest way of thinking, right, for a watch collector. But to have absolute precision instruments on your wrist, which measure subsets of time, which are very important for motorsport, I think the quartz is a necessary and a very logical way to go as well at this point.
It makes sense. It's the most precise way of measuring time that you can find. Digital, of course, is there, but from our perspective, the quartz, it gives us the most precise way of claiming to be that sports-orientated side of time measuring. When we were designing for the India market, it allowed us to have a little bit more excitement. It allowed us to be a little bit more playful. We think there's a lot more potential for material play, metallic finishes, shapes, detailing. We think it's appreciated here.
Right. Obviously, Ducati already has a very strong community in the country where a lot of people are very passionate about the brand, and I think this is the right product for them.
Very loyal. Yeah, very loyal. And they'll see something here, they'll be able to connect it to the bike. There will be an emotional connection.
That's right.
And then again, for that, not so much of a Ducati enthusiast, the guy that does know the brand, I think there'll be a connection there too, purely based on detail and beautiful product.
So just to wrap this out, what's your vision then for Ducati watches from here on?
More and more. I mean, it's a smaller range. I think it can grow. I think mechanical is an area where we want to go. I think next year's focus will be more so on the limited edition 100-year watches. And then beyond there, we shall see. We shall see. But there's always innovations. There's always drawings going on in the background. There's always ideas. And it's a joint vision. So there's many things under discussion, and there'll be many things concluded. And once they are, we'll be happy to share.
Yeah, no, certainly. We are very excited about it. So I'm sure good things lined up for 2026.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there a message that you would like to give to the Indian watch collecting community?
I think if you're looking for a brand that is speed, performance, unique in colour, unique in shape, and ultimately all of those things represented and connected to a brand as big as Ducati, then I think you can venture down this world, and you can proudly wear something on a wrist that has a true connection to a iconic brand.
Wonderful. This has been highly insightful and very informative. Thank you, Duncan, for your time today. I am highly honored to finally bring you to our final guest for this show. This is Mr. Kuruvilla Marcos, or fondly known as Denny. He is the new CEO of Titan Watches. How are you, Denny?
I am fantastic today. I'm really excited about the Ducati launch, the watches launch that we have, and great to meet you here in Mumbai.
Thank you for your time once again. It really means a lot. And Ducati as a brand coming to India, that's so nice, isn't it? Such a big milestone, not just for watch collectors, but for Titan as their strategic partner in India.
They're excited because obviously Ducati as a brand is something that in India has grown over the last few years.
Absolutely,
they established manufacturing, and they established sales for their motorcycles here in India about 10 years ago. I personally am a Ducati motorcycle owner.
Oh wow, that's wonderful.
And even before I bought the motorcycle, I actually bought a Ducati watch way back in 2010, and then the motorcycle in 2007.
Right.
So what we see here is that there will be a large number of Ducati motorcycle owners who would like a piece of the brand. Obviously you can't carry your motorcycles into an office or into a dinner that you go to, but you could wear the watch on your wrist, and that's something that you feel that you have the brand along with you. There's also a large group of people who are first jobbers, may not really be able to afford a Ducati motorcycle because it is at the end of the day a premium luxury brand.
Absolutely, yeah.
And but they can get into that by owning a Ducati
Certainly,
watch.
at least you can get into the whole ethos of Ducati, the culture of Ducati. In fact, before we go to the watches, let me quickly talk to you about the Ducati motorcycle you have. Which one is it?
I have a 2017 Ducati Multistrada.
Oh, nice.
Which is their adventure bike.
Yeah, exactly.
Multistrada in Italian means all roads or many roads.
Yeah.
So, it's basically a motorcycle. And that's perfect for India because
we all kinds
in
of
India, roads are not necessarily always the best. India obviously is the world's largest two-wheeler market. And it's also a very large market for watches. So we feel that this combination will work very well, and Titan would certainly want to bring more lifestyle brands like Ducati into the market.
When you say how easy or difficult was it to bring a licensed brand like Ducati to India?
So I think for many of the international brands, and our IB portfolio has been growing both in terms of the number of brands that we have and also in terms of the sales contribution coming from them, right? I think for them, the assurance that Titan brings is a very large network, very clean and easy way to work.
Certainly.
And the fact that Titan is part of the Tata Group and they trust us completely. For all of those reasons, I think Titan as a vehicle to bring in international brands is working. The scale of our network today, whether it is our
absolutely unmatched
Titan World EBOs or whether it is the Helios stores or now the Helios Lux stores
Yes.
that we are opening,
Right.
I think again makes us the perfect vehicle
Absolutely.
for international brands to come into the country.
Definitely. I think great positioning, and that also brings me to this question. How do you foresee Ducati being positioned in India, and where does Ducati as a watchmaker go from here?
So, like Alessandro,
Yes.
who is the person looking after the licenses from Bologna in Ducati, would say, is Ducati's first and foremost passion, excitement is motorcycles.
Sure.
That's what they know, that's the business they understand,
That's right.
and that's what they enjoy doing, right? And therefore, they're not a watchmaker. So therefore, they would rather leave the watchmaking part to someone who they can trust,
Yeah,
and a partner
absolutely.
like Titan and
Sure.
a partner like ILG.
Yeah.
Both of these companies understand watches
Absolutely.
inside out and have
Absolutely.
the ability to make the watches for them.
Right.
So therefore, that's where I think we come in.
Yeah.
And also with the network that we spoke about, we're
That's
able
right.
to help them to get into the country in a big way.
Is the outlook at Titan also to bring more licensed brands in the future?
Yeah, so the way we are looking at it is that as the country premiumizes and as people look at higher priced watches, and,
Sure.
and particularly communities
That's right.
like yours, right? Multiple watch ownership is certainly the direction that's going to happen. And when you own multiple watches, you look at it as a portfolio.
Certainly.
Right? You're not, I don't think there is ever any collector who's going to be only one brand.
That's right. No. Rarely does that happen.
So,
Yeah, sure.
so therefore, I think from that perspective, what we are recognizing is that while Titan is such a dominant brand in India,
Yeah.
and we can leverage the trust
Certainly.
and all of the love that people have for us
Yeah.
to bring other brands also into the country. So
Yeah.
we don't see that as a problem,
Yeah.
because we see that as people own multiple watches, and in fact that's where the Helios format
Certainly,
has really
yes.
worked for us,
Right.
because people come into a Helios looking for one brand and then they discover other brands.
That's right.
And therefore, I think that's the journey that communities like yours goes through.
Right.
And sometimes, we all get excited when we come across something that we've never heard of, but we really like.
Right, exactly. And then you also have to open up the possibilities to discover new things. And that's what brands like Ducati do for the consumer as well.
In fact, I think one of the trends that I'm sensing is that the small niche collectors brands,
Yeah.
which are not generally mainstream, I think the interest in India
Is
for those
very
brands
high
are
right
also
now.
growing, right?
Very high right now.
I was jokingly telling Alessandro that India is probably going to be the biggest market for them for both their motorcycles eventually and for the watches
Yeah.
first.
Certainly, I think that's where it's headed, isn't it? And from your words, I'm gonna just close this down with saying, I think there's a lot of faith placed in the Indian consumer and in the Indian market, and that's very visible in how Titan is behaving with their premiumization, how good brands are coming to India now,
Yeah.
and everybody's looking. Especially this was the experience at Dubai Watch Week as well.
Yeah.
Everybody said that, hey, India, great market, great potential right there.
100%. And it's just the fact that the number of Indians, who you ran into at the Dubai Watch
yes,
Week
absolutely.
was another example. Was another evidence of the level of interest
Certainly.
in watches as a category in
That's
India.
right.
So exciting times ahead.
Wonderful. Is there a message that you would like to give to fellow Chronoholics across the country?
What I would want to say to Chronoholics, the Chronoholics community, is thank you for being supporters of the category. Thank you for being collectors, spending your time, energy, and attention on this category. And what I'd like to promise you from Titan company standpoint is our mission, our job in the next few years is to try and put India on the horology map of the world, right? And to make India as a country, and certainly Titan as a company, respected and an exciting producer of fine watches.
This has been an absolute honor and a
Same
pleasure
here.
to talk to you.